Hey, welcome back to Vice Grip Lodge, our first big project on the abandoned building. We've got to figure out how to do an exterior facelift. Specifically, we've got to frame in some windows or window openings here in the front. It's turned out to be quite a project, but we've got to get it done. Let's dig in. So a guy got some quotes on some commercial windows and doors for the building, and quite honestly, I was blown away. It was way more than I expected. And when he started looking at the line items, a big portion of that was just labor. Demolition, removal of existing structures, framing in the window and door openings, and then of course the glass and installation themselves. Well, I don't know how to make windows and doors, and I don't know how to install them, but I think my brother and I could do the demolition side and the framing side, so that's what we're into right now. We're digging into the front of the building, the corner. It's kind of the big visual point of the building, and we ran into a lot of junk in here, but we're trying to frame this in so we can get a decent measurement and get it over to the window guys so we can give you an accurate quote on what it would take to put some commercial glass back in here. So this is the corner we're working on here, and I think back in the day it probably had all of this cube glass in here, this stuff, but it's been long since demolished, and someone had a bunch of like galvanized tin, and this was framed in kind of like in a, I don't know, quadrant of some sorts, and then they just had tin smacked against it. So first step today, we had to tear all of that stuff out, and now we're trying to frame in an opening that they can come back and get a measurement. And it's tough. We've got this here board. Krang ran this through a table saw, and width and depth, whatever, to match this. And then we got to put another board in here still. We got to put a sill, a header in. Working on that right now. Doing some mortar repair. This is a caulking. It's got like rocks or gravel in it. This had a pretty good gap in it. And he's getting ready to drill and put these big, whatever these are called, tap pounds into the board here. We're gonna glue that too, or just center? We got some juice. But this will be a nice opening for this corner here, having some glass in here. But let me show you everything we ripped out of this. It was a lot. Pretty much the whole morning into the afternoon was just trying to tear all this out. All of this was just into that corner. Here's some of those crazy beams they built, but you can see a lot of this wood was just rotted junk. Bunch of 16 penny nails and some flashing, some like rubber roof cement, stuff like that. But all of this was jammed into that corner, and it was quite an effort just to get it cleared out to where we could start working on this thing. So I'm gonna put you fellers and fellettes up there in the doorway. We're gonna get to work, see if we can get this thing framed out tonight. And we also got to sheet it up to have some sort of security in the building. We got some plywood we're gonna hang. It's leftover plywood that I have from the barn build, so that was nice. I didn't have to go get new plywood sheets or any of that stuff, but let's get after it. We got sundown here in probably 3 hours. We gotta get moving. Well, quick update here. We got the, I don't know what this is called, the bottom plate thing, sill. These are 2x10s that we ripped. And I put a bunch of mortar compound in there because we got block on the inside. And some of this needs repaired. They actually made wood. At some point or another, they made wood blocks. And these were on fire to fit in here. But anyway, I put that compound in as, I guess, everywhere I could, and we also glued it, and then we screwed it down, drilled and screwed it. We'll have these cutting a cutter board. The old Shop Series saw, the $20 saw, just getting it. Anyway, so now we're putting in a board across the top all the way around, but we're looking at this metal plate that was structural at one point, but look how rotten this is now. I wire wheeled it and hit it with some rust treatment, some rust stop stuff, but it's in such bad condition, and I'm already starting to see some cracks in the block. And over here, like this corner is coming down. So instead of having one nice piece of glass here, which would have been really cool, we're gonna have to box this in and make two separate windows. So we're gonna have to box this pole out, and then we're gonna run 2x10s basically right where that speaker is, vertical, just to give it some more stability and something to keep this corner from just caving in. And we're gonna have to do the same over here, so we'll try to make it symmetrical basically. So we'll essentially have 4 windows. I don't know what that's gonna do to my cost. A little bit more metal work, but maybe it's cheaper because they're smaller windows. I'm not really sure, but I don't have an option at this point. For us to redo this metal, I don't even know how we do that. We'd have to somehow support the building, pull out the rotten stuff, put new steel in. I have no idea what that process would be. So this is the next best option. Frame in 4 windows around this and give it some vertical support. Well, we're gonna shut her down for tonight. Jessica made a nice supper for us. Whenever Krang's in town, she really goes to kitchen. We got some chicken Alfredo waiting for us, but we ran out of screws anyway, and we need some more 2x10s, and we're ripping those to be the exact length or width of the wall. And we'll grab that in the morning, and then we're gonna finish boxing in these windows, and we'll get that plywood off, secure it for weather and trespassing and whatnot. And I think we might move on to a couple other windows tomorrow as well. I don't know, we'll see how far we can push it. Chris is here for 2 more days, so we're just gonna keep smashing and see how far we can get for tonight. I'm gonna lock all the doors, get everything closed up, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Back to work on what we call right now the milk barn. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Well, good morning, bright and early, day 2 on the window project here. We swung into the Hardmore store, got some more 2x10s, some construction adhesive, some more grout stuff, some screws, a couple odds and ends, and we're gonna finish framing this thing off. Got the window guy coming over too, make sure we're on the right track, trying to separate this stuff out, and I'm gonna go ahead and start demoing this front entryway here. So we need to have a new commercial door, and I believe some states, I know it's particularly fire code, commercial doors are supposed to open out. There was a bad fire at a theater back in the day, and everyone got trapped inside because they rushed the door and they got smashed against the door and they couldn't open the door, and it was a really tragic event. And a lot of states adopted swing out only doors for commercial, and some have what's called a crash bar, which is that lever that you push, makes that kabang sound. But anyway, this is all rotten, terrible condition. You know, it needs to go. So I'm gonna get in here. I think first I'm gonna clean up all this junk, get rid of it, and then sweep a little bit so I'm not tracking through glass. And then speaking of glass, we're gonna make a lot more. All this has got to be knocked out. It's gonna be a big mess, but I don't know how to do it any other way other than a huge sledgehammer. Great.
Hey, whoever took the surge protector last night, bring it back, because
We need it?
oh yeah, and we don't take stuff from you, so
We
put it
threw-
right back in that garbage can where you found it last night.
We threw a surge protector in here because we only have 2 outlets on the generator, and someone dug through here and took it from us. Darn it. They left our waters though, for Pete's sake. We got updates. Chris pretty much has this framed out, and that gives us an idea of what this is going to look like. Window, obviously. Same thing over here. This pole is super crooked, but we don't have to worry about that. We actually had the window guy come in, and he gave us an idea of what they're going to do with their flashing, I guess, and all the other stuff. And I've been over here working, trying to get this knocked out of here, and this has turned into a pile of work. But I'm slowly getting there. Right now I'm chiseling and hammering, trying to get all the block and brick out of here. This needs to be smooth and 90 degrees. This side's a little bit closer over here. Taking loads to the dump back and forth. Look at the frames on this, just completely rotted. Same here. So that's pretty much all junk anyway, and has to go. And then I got to get in here, and we're gonna have to cut or torch this or something. But all that's got to come out because we have to be pretty much up to this plate for the new window that's going to get set in here and door. It's going to be a 36-inch door with glass on either side. Yeah, it should look pretty nice, but we got to get this cleaned up and opened up. I'm pretty sure we're going to start moving on. I'm going to keep whittling on this, but we're going to move to another window. Was going to go after that window, but Chris said he wants to do this instead because he wants to break stuff. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 2x8s or something in there. All that junk needs to come out. The window door guy said basically get it to the block, but we have to go 86.5 from here down to this part right here. And we can see here that this was not an original opening because of the way the block is set.
Because of the way that it is.
Yeah, the way that it is, basically. It would have just been over top of the floor right here, and then built up from that. So that's a little bit tricky. Might have to do some diagramical engineering or something, but we're just gonna rip all that out of there. Actually, Chris will probably take off on this, and I'll keep working on the front door. And then it'd be nice to at least start digging into a window. Windows, we still got a frame out. It's open up there anyway. And then that'll give us something to put some plywood back up against. Look at dumpster update. Stuff. Lots of junk. We got a big development over here on the side door. This was originally, I had planned on putting an ADA door in here because we have to have this handy, capable, accessible, obviously because it's going to be a business. And I thought this might be the easiest way to do it was coming through here, but Chris started digging through here, and this is an absolute nightmare. So let's talk about the issues here first, and then we're going to talk about how we can fix this, and I think save a bunch of money. And any day you can save money is a darn good day. We found a snake in here, a newspaper from 1987, and baseball. It's pretty cool. Here's some old newspapers here, and that's when they spackled this and painted it. They jammed newspapers in here as like insulation. Anywho, this double door is out, and we can see the original vanilla colored outside block Then we got our inside block and then the original floor slab here. And they cut this in for whatever reason. One of the businesses throughout the years, this building's been around a long time. But look at this cobbled together. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 2x10s. Here's the original wall, way back in there. See that? Here's the original outlet, or light switch. They just buried it. Original plaster wall. So this is, no wonder it's so thick. I thought this was all original work, but it's not. They framed out all this. This is all framed out. And then they put in these beams for stability and whatnot. Well, anyway, what we're thinking we're gonna do now, to not have to deal with this being the incorrect size for a door, it would have to be completely custom made. And we're guessing $5,000 to $6,000 for a commercial door, ADA right-hand swing with the side glass. Instead, we're gonna frame this off with 2x4s that matches this essentially, and we're gonna tin it when we get around to that point. Right now we'll just sheet it. And then on the inside, we're gonna frame another wall right here that matches this. And we can come back through with this 1/4 inch OSB or whatever we're gonna use and basically just wall this off on the inside and pretend that this door doesn't exist or never did. And it will actually clean up this space quite a bit more, because now we can put memorabilia or trinkets or whatever we're gonna do through here and not have to worry about that big opening. But then that leads us up to the front. This opening's gonna have to be ADA now, which is fine. And I started looking at this. This needs to be redone anyway. This is a disaster and a big hazard, obviously. It looks like the original step to it. So all this stuff's got to get tore out anyway. So if a guy's tearing all this out anywhoos, why not just make a bend here and make a concrete ramp that goes down over here, and that's going to be our ADA entrance into the building, and also clean all this up basically in just one swoop, and we're done. I just got to make sure that this opening is going to be correct in ADA and a right-hand swing. So we're going to be spending just a little bit more on concrete because obviously it's a little bit longer, but we're going to be saving one huge entrance over there. Trying to get these main posts out of here, and then I'll work on the other stuff tomorrow when I get a torch. That's heavy steel. Next! Ouch. So we had, looking at these windows originally, we thought we might have to torch them. There's these studs going in here. This frame, oh, right on the head and shoulder. Okay, anyway, it goes right into the mortar. And then the second part of the frame, which holds the glass, is like bolted to the other one. We thought this was going to be a huge mess, but it's actually going pretty quick. We're just cutting down the middle, and then we're hopeful that we can just hit. See how that's bringing? I think he's about to run that sledgehammer through the glass. Yep. Okay. Huh.
I could just trim that off.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Well, we've got one window frame out. This is kind of the mess we had going with it. Just been cobbled, repaired, added to over the years, and we're kind of just improvising as we go. We saw some bricks come off. That's this piece right here. So they inlaid the metal frame and then jammed all these bricks and mortar in to hold the frame into the block. Well, you can see that one's all split and cracked, and down it came. But now we think we can frame this out with 2x4, and then they'll just use some flashing on the inside and trim this off nice, and you won't even be able to tell. It'll be a quick and easy trim out job too for that particular thing. This hole right there is how they were running water and electricity from one end of the building to the other. There's another one over here. I never even knew there was lumber on the side. This is the most light there's been in here since I got the place, so I'm kind of seeing a lot of new stuff. Okay, I got these boards Tapconned into the wall. Got the floor all cleaned up. It's flushed out. This is all swept out. Not perfect, but now we're ripping plywood. This is leftover plywood that I had from the barn build. We're going to screw this in, and then window guys can come back and get their rough opening from the inside here, and this will secure it from weather and whatnots.
Bums.
The plums? The fruit?
Bums.
Oh. Getting her clothes back into the darkness. This is how I've always known the building. There's the main entryway. And where we're gonna have our windows. It's not airtight, but it's gonna work. Here's that wall. Whoop. Oh, what did I step on? A light bulb? So that's framed in now, and then we'll got to pick up some more pine. We don't need to do green treated in here. Frame in another wall, and then we can flush this up, and everything will be hunky dory. I'm gonna blow out the windowsill. We're gonna frame that in next, and then we should all be secured for tonight. Well, good morning once again. We're back at the milk barn. We're gonna go ahead and throw another day at it. We were just gonna kind of get this corner cleaned up, and then things started kind of really coming together. Chris is gonna hang out with me at Krang for today and tomorrow, but we're gonna try to knock out what we can today. Tomorrow I'm actually gonna be doing some seeding and stuff, and I would like his help with that, and I got some hay I gotta put up and do some other things. So we're going to, well, I'll show you what we're gonna do today. So entryway cleaned up, boarded off. That was a big project. This corner was also a big project. We framed off this wall. This will eventually get tinned. Over here, probably this will come off. It'll get wrapped and then tinned, and then we'll insulate it. This one here, we ran out of treated last night, so we got to put one treated board on here. We'll probably leave the plywood off till the evening so we get some light in there. And then today we're going to start by ripping all of this out and getting a rough in measurement for this, and then we'll probably do the same, just like in the front entryway, just Tapcon a stub 2x4 on each side, just so we can cover this off. And then we got this big mess here to rough in, and this one's got like bolts, and oh, we got to cut that off. That's welded to the top. I didn't even see that. So this one's going to be a fight, and then we'll pretty much have this side all done, and then we're going to move over, which will be a big project. Probably get the dart fired up, backed out. But these big guys got to come out. We got 3 of these, and this is different. See, we're not going to be able to knock the block out of here. I don't know what we're going to do there. That's going to be interesting. All right, we'll get the other side done first. Well, we got that window finished up there. Got the door ripped out. They had this thing anchored really good, actually. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guess not one up there. But we got it all tore out, cleaned up a little bit. Krang is putting on, this is just to hold the plywood on, but this will be the opening for that door. There, and the door and window guy said it'll go right to the block on this one, so we don't have to do a bunch. I'm working on this mess. I got the fold out side out. Kind of learning if we just cut these and like a relief cut, we could just fold them in together. The downside is there's glass raining overhead at all times. I guess I could just get on the ladder and take it out, but yeah, we'll figure that out later. I'm gonna get a chisel and a punch. And basically this row has to come out now. We're gonna try to knock the whole frame inward. And that row of brick is what was here. And again, we're just gonna use flashing, kind of cover that off. I got updates. Look at this. Well, you probably can't see because all of that is now boarded off. Everything's framed in. We are now working on the big windows where they used to wash the milk trucks off. These guys. That was a bear. Getting all the metal and everything out of that was a lot of work. A lot of work. I've got the bottom sill tapped on in. I've got the top one in. Chris is cutting the sides right now. We got to do the same over on this one today, and we're going to board them off, and then we're going to head back to my place because we got some work to do in the field, and then we'll come back tomorrow to finish up the other window and clean up, basically. We're back again, working on doors. This is southeast, so here's where we were yesterday. We got these two done. We still got this one to do. We're probably going to do that later today. We decided to start on the doors. This old one here, I got out real quick. Pretty much everything was rotted. Also, we've got this vine vegetation growing in between the blocks. But we're blocking this in just to sheet it off, because we're gonna have the door company, same as the other ones. They'll come in and just get the rough opening and stick a new door in here. I am wire wheeling the steel, rust treating it, and then painting it. This is epoxy paint. It's a really thick enamel, and I'm hoping that slows down the rust a little bit. Krang's over here smashing concrete with sledgehammers.
I have rheumatoid arthritis.
He said he has arthritis. I believe it. This might be an original door, just by how ghetto it is and like overkill.
There's a lot of arthritis in
Yeah. But I don't need it. I don't need this weird. Well, first of all, this was clearly made when that building wasn't even here, because you're not going to back a truck up to this any longer. That's long gone. Excuse me. So this might like go away, or this could be additional parking or something through here. Because again, I own this all the way to that building. It's kind of weird. Well, in fact, you can see the pink marker right there. I guess it's a little bit past that curb. But anyway, this does absolutely no good. There's no reason to have this huge double door here, so I'm gonna wall this off. I think this might be like the Ford Tribute area. Might have a couple Model A's or a Model A, Model T in here. Would like to have some Ford memorabilia in here, maybe an old gas pump. Just have like a really cool, a little Ford area. Maybe there's areas for all makes and models. I'm not sure yet, but that door, as you can see, is just kind of awkward. We can't really use it. There's really no reason to have it. So we're gonna wall this off, and we'll probably put some treated 2x4s in here, and then drill through the steel, and then either attach it to the steel and the block, or drill through the steel and just to the block. But either end, who and way, we've got to fasten this up in here and get that taken care of. Also need your opinion on these vines. They're starting to take over the building. I know this is artistic in some arenas, but do we keep these? Do we let them grow? Or do we take them down and clean up the building? I don't know. Let me know. Well, we now have the man door sealed off, and this is walled off here. I don't know why I didn't do 2x8 on this. I guess it doesn't matter though. We're going to have to frame this out differently on this side, and that'll be insulated. But that does it for this wall over here. All complete. Still have 3 more doors to throw in here that we ripped out, but here is the mess. A lot of work in just a few days. Big thank you to Krang for coming down from North Dakota to help a guy out. And it's pretty wild how much better the building looks with just plywood on it. Cleaner. And excited to get the window guy back down here to get final measurements. Hopefully we've got some savings there. And then we're going to get the big number. What it's going to take to get the proper commercial windows and doors in this for code. But I'm excited to be moving forward. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Milk Barn, the headquarters here. Thank you guys for watching so very much. Appreciate all you. This is going to be a terrifying but fun journey, and I'm glad you guys are along for the ride. And as always, couldn't do this without you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.